Guys, welcome to Metal and Rock Zone. Winter is coming, and that's the time when I do the summer gigs ceremony. The worst, the best, and the biggest surprises of all the gigs, metal and rock gigs that I saw this summer. Uh, my season kind of goes from April to October, so I'm recording this at the beginning of October. There's a lot of concerts left, but this is what I saw during this period, let's say April to October. And I do go to a lot of concerts, as some of you might know, and this summer, I think, or this spring summer, I saw about 60 different concerts. And there has been like this bottleneck, so I think there's been an unusually high amount of concerts going on because, people couldn't tour during COVID, so they had to honor the dates that they had put up before that. Then, some bands came with new albums, some bands were running out of money, so they had to go and tour. So, there are multiple reasons why there has been more gigs this summer than before. And I want to talk about what I saw, like who was the best, who was the worst, who surprised me, and uh, and also like some tips about how I see it to be the best experience for us as concert goers, because we want the best when we go and spend money on this. So some of the bands that I saw, I'll just read. I have this list here. I mean, I saw Rammstein, Scorpions, Korn, Gojira, Slipknot, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Iron Maiden. I mean, that's crazy. I saw these bands within a week. Iron Maiden, Metallica, and Guns N' Roses in 1 week. That's nuts. Uh, Sodom, Rolling Stones, Merciful Fate, Death to All, Rotting Christ, Venom, Soulstavir, you name it, Opeth, Pixies. The list is endless almost, and I don't want to bore you with it, but it's an impressive list though. Uh, so out of these, what I had kind of waited the most to see, just to get that off, is that I wanted to see Helloween, Eric Clapton, and Rotting Christ. Eric Clapton because my dad was a fan, and it's kind of music that I grew up with. Helloween because that like was some of the first metal that I got into, and I had never seen. And then Rotting Christ from Greece because they were, I was just always curious about them because I like their music. It's very kind of dramatic and cinematic somehow, and I wanted to see them live. So I managed to see all these three live, and I was very happy about that. What I missed was Aerosmith. They cancelled. I would have loved to see them again. Anyway, uh, how I evaluate this, and I did a lot of concert reviews. You can actually find all of them up here on individual concerts. What I use is a band performance, singer performance, set list. Is it long, short, all that stuff? Does it have the right songs? Is there something missing? The sound and the show, and then atmosphere and crowd, kind of the overall package somehow. And of course, I do understand that this is just my opinion and it's based on one night. I mean, a band can have an off day, or the sound engineer can have an off night, or whatever, or there's just something in the air that just doesn't make it a nice experience. But these are still my, evaluations. So I'll start with the best, the 5 best, and then I'll do the 3 worst, and then I'll do kind of a summary. So honorable mentions as kind of surprises, well, maybe not necessarily surprises, but honorable mentions as good performance. That would be Korn and Iron Maiden. Korn were great. They were better than when I saw them 5 years ago. This was my 4th or 5th time seeing them. And I think this is the best performance that I've seen from them. Some of the new stuff is really, really cool. And yeah, I like them. They had great sound, great atmosphere, and yeah, obviously good music. And the reason why they're not top 5 is that there's just 5 other that were better. But they're kind of close by. Iron Maiden were great as usual, but they didn't make the list of top 5 because their set list was very short, almost disappointingly short, and three new songs, which I liked, but they should have played more. You can see the full review on that concert here, where I talk about that. Great gig, but it wasn't enough. We needed more. So the 5 best. 5th place, that's Solstafir from Iceland. That's an Icelandic band. I'm a little bit biased, I'm Icelandic, but I've seen them play here in Prague, where I live, almost every year for the last 12, 13 years. And their audience just grows and grows and grows. And people started knowing their songs, which are in Icelandic. That's bizarre, because people here barely speak English, let alone Icelandic. So they sing along with an Icelandic band. It was 10,000 people. It was rainy. It was dramatic. There was just something there. You can see a video from that concert up here. And if you don't know that band, I can highly recommend them. As I said, I'm a little bit biased. It is an Icelandic band. But fourth place, that's Gojira, a French band. I was very worried when I went to that gig. The set list didn't look attractive to me. I always check the set list up front and what they've been playing in the previous gigs. So I was like, they're missing this song, this song, this song, and why are they playing this from this album and that? And I was like, So, and then they started, and I mean, and they did start. They had this amazing fucking intro, and then it's just a wall of sound, the amazing sound, great performance, and that they actually made me go back and listen to those songs on the albums. Like they performed them so well that I actually wanted to start listening to those songs, and that was a really, really cool gig. Third place, that's Slipknot. Same there. I had really low expectations. I had seen them 5-6 years ago. Awful sound. I've seen them many times, but when I saw them last time, awful sound. And I didn't like the last album. And then, so I was like, should I really go there? It was a last minute buy, actually. I bought the ticket just on the day, and I wasn't going to go. And boy, I'm lucky that I went. They were amazing. And you can see the review of that individual gig up here. But this band just has something. They have some way of interacting with the crowd. Corey Taylor is just amazing. And they played some of the new songs, and it was just magic, like the show itself isn't too big, but with all these people on stage doing something, and the fire and the beer kegs or milk bottles or whatever it is that they're banging, like it's amazing stuff. And we reviewed the new album that just came out up here. That's a great album, by the way. Second place, Metallica. And I don't know what it is, because their first song sucked, the sound wasn't great and stuff like that. But they're just so human, they're so humble, they're so happy to be there with the crowd. And they stayed on the stage long after they stopped playing, just thanking people, giving them drumsticks and guitar picks and all that stuff, They have this human element somehow. And on top of that, of course, they played songs from every album. And the show, kind of on-stage show, followed the themes of each album based on which song they were playing. So that was really, really cool. So I get goosebumps now. It was a nostalgic feeling, you know what I mean? I mean, I've seen that band, I don't know, 15 times or whatever, but this show was a little bit different. It was also soon after Hetfield had broken down on stage, and they had hugged him, and this is what we want. I mean, we want these guys to be rough and hard, but we also want to see their human side. And I think they do that, and that's why they're second place on my list. And then, drum roll, first place, that's Rammstein. That show, flamethrower, fireworks. They sang a song in the crowd on the top of the mixer house. And then they traveled on boats. The crowd ferried them on boats over to the stage. That band could play almost whatever fucking music they wanted to, and like B-sides of all their singles, but you would still love it because it's just the energy, the power, I don't know, the brutality of the whole thing is just, it's a different world, And yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, you can see some of the videos here, and we have videos from that gig on the concert. But everybody who knows Rammstein knows there's just different category. The only band that I've kind of seen that kind of comes close to it, I think, is Kiss. I mean, and I still think Rammstein is even better, but Kiss has a great show as well. So these are the five, the Solstafir, Gojira, Slipknot, Metallica, and Rammstein, the five best of the summer. I missed out on, as I said, Aerosmith. I didn't go and see Kiss. They came to town. I've just seen them so many times that I skipped it. But there were also two bands that I saw that I was very surprised about, like positively, were Scorpions. They were great. They had a lot of hits. I mean, I knew that they had a lot of hits, but they had more hits than I kind of knew. And they kind of got me into them. I started listening more to them after the gig. And then Europe, they were opening for Whitesnake. And what a band, like I always thought Europe, I was kind of like, that's just fucking Final Countdown. And, in a school disco trying to get a girl. But they have hard and heavy songs, and they were really, really good. And the singer, Joey Tempest from Europe, he can really, really sing. So you might want to check that band out. And yeah, obviously, I mean, a lot of as I said in the beginning, a lot of those gigs are based on, how was the audio, how are the visuals, where do you, and so I actually made like a tips and trick video about how to enjoy a concert the best way, because I thought I think I've mastered this art somehow. Now we're on to the bad part. You can't really have, you can't eat only the cream. You have to eat the sour stuff as well. So the worst, first, the dishonorable mention, that's ginger or ginger from Ukraine. I know it's not popular to say something bad about anything coming out of Ukraine right now, but I just can't. I saw this band 3 times. They just don't have it. It's a good band, like from a, they're good musicians and all that, but it's just boring. It's boring music. And they've been opening up for, I don't know, like Slipknot. They've been everywhere. They're everywhere that I go, and I don't want to see them. The main list, third from bottom, huge anticlimax. My childhood hero, Eric Clapton. He played in the dark. He didn't say a word to the fans, nothing. It was a seated concert, so he should have engaged. He played in the dark. You couldn't see him. You couldn't recognize whether is this Clapton or is this Clapton on the stage. It was so bad that the promoter actually eventually had to come out and excuse this and explain that this is by the request of the band. It was not us who asked for this, blah, blah, blah. Horrible. And I hate it because good songs, like, and great guitar guy and all that. And I was like, what the fuck is this, It doesn't get easier for me, Second from bottom, Guns N' Roses. I've seen them many times, 6, 7 times. Once before they reunited when it was only Axl Rose, and then probably 6 times after the reunited. And where do I start? I did a full review on it up here, but the summary of it: the show was too long, too many songs. You get bored. I mean, it's weird to be in a Guns N' Roses concert. My kind of teenage band, and I'm like, when is this gonna finish? 30-something songs, no chemistry with the band. Axl Rose hadn't warmed up, so it took him 40-50 minutes to get into hit his stride, and I do get that. It's not that I expect these guys to walk out on stage and be perfect all the time, but I don't know. I think they could do better. They could have, the crowd sucked, and they didn't do anything about it. The chemistry in the band sucked. They didn't do anything about it. And I rather want to see them play 20, 22, 3 songs and do it perfectly. Warm up, backstage. I can help if you need, whatever. But deliver something. I still love you guys, but this was not good. And the worst one, is there a drum roll on the worst one, or I don't know, or maybe like a sad music or something? That's Helloween. That was a band that I had high expectations of. I started listening to them as I don't know, like a 12-year-old or something, and I had them on cassette, so it was a forced listening. So I started loving some of their music that I don't think a lot of other people love. But it was like being in a musical. They have this united, or what do they call it? What's it called? Reunited band. Like, they have the old guitar player Kai Hansen, they have the old singer Mikael Kiske, and then they have all the new band as well. So there's a lot of people on stage, and everyone needs to get some attention. And it just gets too much, and the sound was bad, show was too long, 5 songs from the new album that I had never heard. I know a lot of people have been bashing me in the concert review up here about not giving them a break of touring their new stuff, and I do get that they have to do that, but let's be honest, we want to hear what they played in the 80s, in the 90s. That's what we want to hear. Did I say bad sound? Yes. And on that gig, actually, the opening act, Hammerfall, was better. Weird, And so I was very unhappy about Helloween. The crowd was also awful. Everybody was drinking beer, going to be drinking beer, going to be. So you never had a clear line of visuals, And I will never sit in that spot again on that concert. I should have followed my own tricks on that, my own tips. So what would I want to see again of these bands? 3 worst. Okay, that was Clapton, Guns N' Roses, Helloween. What would I want to see again? Probably kind of all of them. I promised myself, though, not to go and see Helloween again. And I'm not sure I will see Europe again. I would if they come to town, but I wouldn't travel for it. And Ginger, I never need to see again. But I'm pretty sure they're going to be somewhere, probably at my birthday or something. my takeaways is that from this season is go and see the warm-up bands. There are hidden gems there, Hammerfall, Europe, and there were more. But go and see the warm-up opening acts. They deserve love as well, and you might find something new. Follow my advice on the tips and tricks, and go and find the right spots to locate yourself. Be wary of what you want. If you want to see, then sit. If you want to hear, then be by the mixer table. All that stuff. And to the bands, guys, less is more, and that especially goes to like Guns N' Roses, and actually, well, except Iron Maiden, their more should have been better. But sometimes you kind of need to dial it down and boil it down to giving exactly what people want. It doesn't have to be too much extravaganza, too many songs. Just give the crowd what they want. Iron Maiden could have done better with that. They could have had more of the famous songs. Guns N' Roses could have done fewer songs, so less is more. So yeah, that's my summer season. The best one, Rammstein. The worst one was Helloween. And we do album reviews also. We just did on the new Slipknot album and some other albums that are coming out. You can check that out here. And tell me what you think. What concerts blew your mind? What concert disappointed you? And what in both now and previously? And where do you disagree with me? Because I love it when people disagree with me, because it kind of opens up new channels of thinking and seeing things in a different way. So all of our concert reviews are here. Tell me what you think. Subscribe, like, comment, and have a great day. Thank you guys. Bye.